All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have got 15 minutes for Q&A today because I was selfish and took a lot of time on the last lesson. So 15 minutes for Q&A. Let's try to keep it focused on what we talked about here today, okay? Let's try to keep it focused and on topic. Yes, ma'am. The question was, for those of you who didn't hear it and for those of you on the DVD, the question was, as a young mother, she has control of her home, but what does she do when she sends her kid to school? And I don't know, for those of you who know what's going on and what has been going on in the school food system, yeah, that was a slip, Freudian slip, right? The school food system is probably one of the greatest crimes against humanity I've ever seen. And I'm not kidding. Amen. What we are allowing our children to be fed in schools right now is nothing short of criminal. And the USDA is the one who set the guidelines, and there's a whole host of dietitians who'd support it. And I just call BS on that whole deal. The bottom line is you cannot allow your child to consume school lunch. And I know for many of you, that throws up all kinds of red flags and all kinds of challenges into your life. And all kinds of new things that you have to do on top of everything else. What I'm going to tell you right now might make you a little upset. Get some of the other things out of your life that are causing you to not be able to take control of your kids' food. For goodness sakes, please. There is not hardly anything more important to your child's development right now than the food that goes in their mouth every day. And I know it's challenging, but challenges are everywhere. The question is, which challenges are you going to take on, and which ones are you going to allow to take you on? What's going in your child's mouth is not one I would recommend you let go. But school lunches are not going to change anytime quickly. The system isn't going to change. You are going to have to take control of your school lunches. Anytime I meet with a mother on what's going on in the health of their home, especially what's going on in the health of their child, it's one of the first things we talk about. Where are they eating lunch? What are they eating every day? And if there's a school lunch involved, that's one of the first things to go. Because most of that food is just downright poison, if not just flat out worthless to their health. If it's not worthless to their health, it's bad for them, let's put it that way. Very, 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 very small percentage of the food that's available in the school lunch program today is actually doing them any good at all. So you can tell I'm a little passionate on that issue, sorry. I just want you to get it, okay? It's a very important topic, probably one of the most important topics in health today, okay? Yes, sir, in the middle. The two graphs are not in this material. We are doing some more visuals because you've asked for more visuals. And actually, just so you know, we're doing the best we can to augment these presentations and this workbook material with more and more graphics and visuals. So no, they aren't in the material, but they will be in the future material, and they will be on the DVDs that you guys get that'll be cut after all of this.
So my question was,
what were the 3 lines on the allergies? Let's go back and take a look. Were they age groups? It's kind of what I thought they were. Boy, this one's really small. I can't see it from here. Yeah, you're right. They are age groups. That's right. I remember that now. So they're different stages of adolescence. Next question. Yes, sir. So the question was about contamination regarding genetically modified crops being planted next to non-GMO crops. It's a problem. It's a really big problem. There's actually a lot of farmers that are losing crops because of the contamination, and they're not getting any support at all. They don't have crop insurance like the conventional farmers do. Actually, there's new crop insurance out this year. In the 2011 farm season, there's actually some new organic crop insurance. And there's actually going to be some better crop insurance. But the problem is it's very, very, very difficult to avoid GMO contamination because of the those of you who know the pollination process and all of that, it's a big problem. We're losing honeybee populations all over the place because of all of the chemicals that are being used on the plants. They're just not touching the plants anymore. They're dying off, or they're going somewhere. We don't know where they're going. But another big problem is drift. And actually, a landmark case was just settled. I can't remember what state it was in, for a drift lawsuit that the organic farmer actually won. This was the first one, and there's been a bunch of them that the organic farmers have lost, that they couldn't hardly afford to fight anyways, but it was the only thing they could do for the livelihood of their farms, and they won it. So there is some change going on in legislation and rules on how things are dealt with regarding the actual drift and contamination issues, but it is a problem. There's no doubt about it. Yes, sir. The question was, in the list of the additives, in the end of the food terminology guy, he saw soy oil. And first of all, you asked if soy oil and soybean oil were the same thing. The question is yes, it's the same thing. And is there a more complete list that has absolutely everything that could possibly be altered or added on it? Is that what you're looking for? Is there a larger list than this one? There definitely is more that we could put on there. Those are the ones that are most commonly used and what you'll most find in the vast majority of the food that's being sold. You can also find a preservative usually by seeing a food you can't pronounce. The one thing you need to be careful of, though, is vitamins have scientific names, and sometimes you won't be able to pronounce a vitamin, but it's a vitamin. The thing is if it's an added vitamin, if it's on the ingredient list, it's synthetic. It's been enriched. It's not a vitamin that you care about being in there anyways. So yes, that soy oil and soybean oil are the same things. And the reason you want to stay away from that is, remember which crop was 94% GMO? You have an option to buy organic oils that are not coming from genetically modified seeds. So again, if you have a choice, which one were you going to buy? That's the question. Okay. Next question. Who has a question here? Yes, sir. Okay, so the question was, all of this lesson talks about foods, but what about the liquids? What about the beverages, the drinks? Okay. First and foremost, I want you to make sure that you've read your food guide, because there's lists. All the beverages are in there. So actually, let's do this. I'll be a good teacher, and we'll go to the actual resource that you have in your hands. I think it's this one here. Whole Food Resource Guide, and it's in section 1, and it's a large resource. It's one of your largest resources, if not the largest. And let's find the beverages section. You all see it's coded. What color is it? Gray. Thank you. So these are the beverages that we recommend. And as you notice in the good and best areas, these give you the technical things behind what we're looking for in a beverage. So in a good beverage, it's going to have no syrups, no artificial dyes or colorings, and it's going to have no artificial flavors. In the best selections, for those of you who are looking to invest in your beverages, they're going to be organic in nature. They're going to be naturally sweetened with organic sugar, honey, stevia, organic cane juice, or organic orange juice concentrate, or some type of organic juice concentrate. So coffee is something I like to drink usually on a day-to-day basis. If I miss it, it's okay, but I like the flavor of coffee. And I will buy organic coffee because there's mold inhibitors and pesticides used in coffee that's pre-ground. So I like organic coffee. I grind it myself, or I have it ground at a coffee shop. And we've got some awesome local coffee shops here that roast them themselves, bring these beans in from all over the country. They do it fair trade, so they're supporting the families in that region. It's just a wonderful thing. So your coffee can actually be a little bit of an art if you'd like it to be. Half and half, we love half and half. I would recommend trying to get it raw if you could, raw cream. But if you can't, if you don't have the jersey in the backyard, go try to buy it and keep it quiet because it's illegal in this state. Otherwise, organic half and half, because meat and dairy products, we want you to switch to organic as quick as possible. Juices, I don't like a lot of juices unless you're squeezing the juice yourself or you got a juicer. Kombucha. If anyone knows what kombucha is, it is it's a very vinegar tasting type of tea. It's a fermented tea. And it has phenomenal good bacteria for your gut. It is a great drink for immunity and for your overall well-being. Be careful for kombucha that has lots of sugar in it, because you're going to be getting a lot of sugar in your diet if you drink a lot of kombucha, some of the varieties that have higher sugar. And I would recommend organic kombucha. Some people make their own kombucha, but it can get a little sketchy at times. You can't tell if things gone south on you or if it's grown its own personality and is about ready to get up and walk away. So be careful with your kombucha. We don't grow our own. We get the stuff. We get the organic stuff from the health food store. Teas, waters, whole milk. I mean, you can pretty much get it. Teas, I do not recommend drinking teas that are already in a bottle. Steep your own. Get organic leaves and steep your own tea. It does not take that much time, and you're going to get a superior product because it's enzymatically, it's alive at the moment that it's from dry to wet. That's what you want. Water, I try not to drink a lot of extra water because our water supply is in rough shape right now, okay? All of the pharmaceutical drugs and things that are being put down, and these things don't die. They don't die through city filtration processes. And 70% of the bottled water on the marketplace is from the tap. So what I do is I tell people, get your hydration through your whole food. That's the beauty of whole food. When you eat fresh fruits and vegetables, does anyone know by molecular weight how much percentage of your fruits and vegetables are water? 60 to 70%. Is there any better filtration system on the face of the planet than soil? No. Especially when your fruits and vegetables are organically grown. So that's where I would recommend getting your hydration. Whole milk, again, I'd recommend raw milk if you can get it, unpasteurized. If not, if some of you freak out when I say that, go get your pasteurized milk in the grocery store then. But I want mine raw. I grew up on it. That's the way I like it. I've seen it do wonderful things for lots of people, and I've never seen anyone get sick on it. And anyone who has gotten sick on it, they live to tell about it. Okay? So that's the beverage conversation. And again, your reference guides, ladies and gentlemen, have tons of these answers right in them. We have time for one more, if it's quick. No? Okay. That's it. We're going to leave you wanting more, so you'll come back next week. Thank you very much for being such a wonderful audience, and we'll see you next week for Lesson 4.